Coming up in SVG-TV News and Sports at 7 p.m. Government waives secondary school registration fees for new students. ECCB Governor urges deepened constructive dialogue amid CIP concerns. More than 1 million people stranded, 54 deaths in Bangladesh floods. And in sports, Taylor's second straight ton seals 3-0 series sweep for West Indies over Ireland. These and other stories coming up in SVG-TV News and Sports at 7 p.m.
Good evening and welcome to SVG-TV News and Sports for Wednesday, July 15, 2026. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Students entering secondary school for the new academic year will no longer be required to pay registration fees following a new policy decision by the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In a recorded statement, Minister of Education Philip Jackson announced that the government has waived the fees as part of its efforts to ease the cost of living burden on families across the country.
After much research and deliberation, we have agreed on a new policy regarding registration fees for 4-month students at public schools and government-assisted private secondary schools. This new policy reflects the ambitions of the Education Act, the more general policy enunciated by Prime Minister Friday on the cost of access to education in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and the NDP's commitment to ease the cost of living for Vincentian families. The new details will be communicated to the public by each school through revised registration packages. However, the main changes include the removal of fees designated as registration, processing, and admission fees, among others.
Minister Jackson acknowledged that some parents have already paid the registration fees. However, he assured them that those payments will be refunded through the respective secondary schools.
Parents and guardians are asked to await the relevant specific communication from the secondary school their child will be attending. For those who have completed registration and paid the previously advertised fees, the school will communicate the details of the refund and the dates when the refunds will be made. We ask you to exercise patience as the new policy comes into effect after some schools have started registration of new students. As Minister of Education, I take full responsibility for this new policy and any inconvenience the timing may have caused. Please be assured that we are acting in the best interest of our students and their families as our administration and the ministry implements its commitment to ensuring that every child has equitable access to quality and affordable education.
Minister of State in the Ministry of Education, Lavon King, explained that the decision is legally sound and was made within the provisions of the Education Act. She said the policy reflects the government's commitment to improving access to education while providing financial relief to parents and guardians.
The Education Act actually makes it very clear that students attending public and assisted private schools should not be charged tuition fees or registration fees and other costs, except for specific items that are approved by the minister. I will say this, whilst we do in fact recognize that there are indeed legitimate onboarding expenses, such as book loan schemes, badges and ties, physical education uniforms, and other authorized educational items, parents should not be required to pay mandatory fees that cannot be justified. To give effect to this, the ministry has issued formal communication to all public and assisted private schools outlining the fees that may be charged to students and parents in the upcoming academic year. As a consequence, parents and students should see lower onboarding costs for the upcoming academic year, with unnecessary and unjustified registration fees no longer being imposed.
Parents and guardians are being encouraged to contact their respective secondary schools or the Ministry of Education for further information. Officials say additional details regarding the refund process and implementation of the new policy will be communicated as necessary. And Chief Education Officer Mavis Finley Joseph has praised the Eco Youth Ventures program, describing it as an initiative designed to equip young people with the tools, confidence, and mindset needed to become environmental leaders. Speaking at the opening ceremony of a 4-day teacher training program at the UWI Global Campus yesterday, Finley Joseph said the Eco Youth Ventures initiative, which combines STEM education, entrepreneurship, and sustainable tourism, has the potential to make a significant impact in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Over the coming months, we are ultimately reaching 11 secondary schools. We have the training of our educators and ultimately reaching around 1,500 students across our islands. That is profound, nationwide commitment to our youth. Teachers, you are the ones who breathe life into the curriculum. The real success of this initiative would not come from the textbooks or the funding. It will come from your ability to spark curiosity in your classrooms. It will come from how you encourage your students to look at the local environment and challenge and say, I can fix this.
Finley Joseph said the Eco Youth Ventures program aligns closely with the Ministry of Education's vision of preparing students for the demands of the modern world. She noted that by exposing young people to innovation, sustainability, and critical thinking, the initiative will help develop the skills needed to address future environmental and economic challenges.
But what does this actually look like in practice? Hands-on science, creative problem solving, environmental responsibility, and entrepreneurial thinking. These are not just academic concepts. They are the exact skills our youth need to build a resilient, sustainable future for our country. So I really want to encourage you over the next few days to approach this training with an open mind. Do not be afraid to try new teaching strategies. Lean on the expertise of our facilitators, collaborate with each other, and think about how you can bring these ideas back to your individual classrooms. Every project you guide has the potential to inspire a student to become a lifelong innovator or champion for their community.
President of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Hotel and Tourism Association, Isola Giddens, also expressed strong support for the program. She encouraged the participating teachers to make the most of the training and to share the knowledge and skills they gain with their colleagues, students, and the wider community. The Eco Youth Ventures program is a regional initiative supported by the Pan American Development Foundation and the government of Taiwan. The 4-day training program has brought together approximately 30 teachers from 11 secondary schools across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The program is designed to equip educators with the knowledge and practical skills needed to integrate STEM education, sustainability, artificial intelligence, and sustainable tourism into classroom instruction. It aims to help students develop innovative solutions to real-world environmental challenges while strengthening the country's education curriculum. In other local news now, we heard that more than 100 pounds of hydroponically growth lettuce are being harvested each week at the Orange Hill Biotechnology Center. The project, which began late last year, is managed by technician Jason Young of the Taiwan Technical Mission to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. During a recent visit to the plant factory, Young told SVG-TV News that the lettuce is grown and harvested entirely indoors using a controlled environment.
The room in an indoors situation, and we control everything. We control the temperature, we control the nutrition, and including the light. So we can grow lettuce in indoor environment, and that's why we don't use any pesticides or fungicides for the lettuce. So it will be a very safe and very high quality lettuce in here. So as you can see, we have different stands here, and each stand is in a different stage of the lettuce. Like the one in the middle is, they are already been here for about 6 weeks. So they are ready to get harvest. And we have the stands for the
Young said the facility produces a variety of lettuce species that are healthy, pesticide-free, and well-suited for the local market. He noted that the hydroponic system allows for the consistent production of high-quality crops while minimizing the risk of pests and diseases.
We have 4 varieties here, and you can take it here. You can see 3 of them now. The one in the top is, we call them crispy. And this one is a green phlegm. It's a phlegm lettuce. You can see the spiky shape of the leaf. And this one is the red leaf Batavia. So you can see a little bit reddish in the leaf. And we also gonna have romaine here. So we'll have romaine maybe a few weeks later. These are the seedlings. So these seedlings, they are about 1 week old, and those are about 2 weeks. So when they grow that big, they'll be ready to be transplanted onto this layer. And we give them a bigger space to grow, and these are already stay in this layer for about 2 weeks. So they are also get ready to be transplanted to here. So after we harvest those, we can transplant this to here.
The indoor cultivation of lettuce utilizes advanced technology with environmental conditions such as lighting, temperature, humidity, and nutrients closely monitored by technicians to ensure optimal plant growth.
So in the plant factory, we control everything automatically. So include the light and the pump. The pump, they'll pump up the water and keep cycling, and it's all controlled automatically. And also we have the carbon dioxide sensor. We have the carbon dioxide here. So when the light is on, the carbon dioxide concentration will raise to help the photosynthesis goes faster. So that's also one reason why it can grow faster here than outside.
The plant factory is expected to be expanded to accommodate 4 additional growing systems, increasing production to between 400 and 800 pounds of lettuce per week. The expansion is expected to strengthen local food production and improve the availability of fresh, locally grown produce. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has joined other CARICOM member states in providing humanitarian assistance to Venezuela following the earthquakes that struck the country on June 24th. The regional relief effort delivered 88 containers of emergency supplies, including food, medicine, construction materials, debris removal equipment, and 300 water tanks to affected communities. Prime Minister Dr. Godwin Friday said St. Vincent and the Grenadines understands the impact of natural disasters and is proud to stand in solidarity with the people of Venezuela during their recovery. The Prime Minister expressed hope that SVG's contribution, together with that of its CARICOM partners, would provide comfort and assistance to the people of Venezuela as they recover from the earthquakes. Foreign Affairs Minister Dwight Fitzgerald Bramble said the initiative demonstrates the strength of regional cooperation and CARICOM's commitment to supporting neighboring countries in times of crisis. Venezuelan officials expressed gratitude to the participating CARICOM member states, including St. Vincent and the Grenadines, for their humanitarian assistance. The local news will continue in a moment. Stay with us.
Welcome to Sista.
Welcome to the upgraded C-Star Limited,
where we offer to almost all your household items.
They've expanded their range to sofas, dining and patio sets, beds and mattresses, wardrobes, kitchen cabinets, office furniture. That's just a few from the luxurious collection. Not forgetting their signature quality windows, doors, rails, and bathroom enclosures. Journey on up to C Star, where their friendly sales clerk is happy to assist. C Star Limited, where quality meets style.
A funeral service should be one that you can be proud of, one that leaves lasting memories of your loved ones. And that's where you need the New Haven Funeral Home. We are proud of the quality and class we have brought to the industry. We are proud for having trained the very first certified embalmers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are proud of leading the way in terms of live streaming of funerals online so that your family members overseas could also be part of the celebration of life. We're constantly improving our services. We are driven by customer satisfaction, and we are proud of all that we do.
New Haven Funeral Home.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentians for years with their high prices. They claim General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices. Then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
On Friday, July 17th, you can help realize your dreams with a lotto jackpot of $118,000. Your dream vacation, a university degree, that new ride, your new house can all suddenly be within your reach. What a little lotto can do. It's a lotto jackpot of $118,000 this Friday, July 17th. You have to be in it to win it.
Courts presents their 2026 all-range event. Be inspired at all Court stores nationwide. Come see what's new in everyday furniture and appliances. Get a chance to win an Indorama 30-inch stove with appliance purchase of $5,999 or more. Great deals on TVs and wall mounts. Everyday great value on mattresses. Bedroom bundle deals up to 25% off. Be inspired at the Courts 2026 all-range event. Affordable convenience for your home. Only at Courts. Bringing value home. Offer ends July 25th, 2026. Conditions apply.
Welcome back. In more local news now, we hear that the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, RSVGPF, is investigating the fatal shooting of a watchman in Golden Vale. The deceased has been identified as 51-year-old Nicholas Oliver of Arnesville. According to a police news release, Oliver was found unresponsive in the vicinity of the Anglican Church at Golden Vale during the early hours of Tuesday, July 14, 2026. Police said they received a report of the discovery at approximately 2:30 p.m. Officers responded to the scene where Oliver was found with injuries consistent with gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead at the scene by a medical practitioner. A post-mortem examination is expected to be conducted to determine the exact cause of death. Residents who spoke to SVG-TV News off camera described Oliver as a well-known figure in the community. Some said they were not surprised to learn of his death. According to residents, Oliver lived alone in a house located near the main road in Golden Vale and was known to law enforcement authorities. Oliver's death brings the homicide count in St. Vincent and Grenadines to 24 for the year thus far. Just 4 days earlier, 35-year-old vendor Sanjay Matthias was fatally shot in the neighboring community of Glen. The Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force said investigation into both killings are ongoing. Anyone with information that can assist the investigations is encouraged to contact the Criminal Investigations Department, the Major Crimes Unit, or the nearest police station. Information, they say, can be provided anonymously through the police crime hotline. An HIV coordinator within the Health Security Unit of the Ministry of Health Azina Burke-Daniel is encouraging anyone who engaged in unprotected sex during the carnival season to get tested for HIV and other sexually transmitted infections, STIs, emphasizing that early testing is essential for protecting both individual and public health. Speaking on the importance of post-carnival health practices on NBC Radio Today, Burke-Daniel stressed that getting tested and accessing accurate information are key steps in maintaining good health. She noted that knowing one's HIV status enables individuals to make informed decisions and, where necessary, access timely treatment, care, and support services.
If someone has had unprotected sex, it is important to take responsibility for their sexual health by getting tested and seeking accurate information. While HIV and other infections may not be detected immediately after exposure, speaking with a healthcare provider and learning when to get tested can help ensure the most accurate results. It's also important to avoid making assumptions based on how you feel and to practice safe sex going forward, including the consistent use of condoms.
Well, Daniel also highlighted that regular HIV testing is an important part of routine healthcare and should not be limited to the period following Carnival. She said consistent testing helps individuals stay informed about their health status and contributes to national efforts to reduce the transmission of HIV through early detection and prompt treatment.
So testing frequency depends on person level of risk. In general, sexually active individuals should get tested regularly. And many health professionals encourage testing every 3 months. People who have multiple sex partners engage in higher risk behavior or have had unprotected sex may especially benefit from more frequent testing. Regular testing is important because STI, including HIV, may not show many symptoms, as person can feel healthy and still have an infection. Getting tested every 3 months helps with early detection, timely treatment when needed, and reducing the spread of infection. Knowing your status is one of the best ways to protect both yourself and your partners.
The HIV coordinator encouraged members of the public not to allow fear or stigma to prevent them from getting tested. She reminded the public that confidential HIV and STI testing services, along with counseling and reliable health information, are readily available to help individuals take charge of their sexual health and well-being. In other local news now, we hear that opposition Senator Carlos James is calling for greater support for private events during Vinci Mass, noting that the younger generation has developed an appetite for new and exciting experiences that continue to shape the local entertainment landscape. Speaking on the matter on radio yesterday, James said young people are increasingly drawn to fresh concepts and innovative events, making it important for promoters and organizers to adapt to changing interests and preferences.
What we have to look at is with these private events now, a lot of the persons who are coming to them are people who are coming from overseas, where there's already that culture of brunch and barbecue and so on, and it started in other places and it's now picking up here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it is one of the things which the festival has emerged to. Then I noticed that there's a late start, it's not a late, it's now gone back to worse than what it was before, where events are starting now in the park close to midnight.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you again, the appetite and the audience, you have to look at that, because the people who are going to Soca Monarch now, the younger generation, they don't leave home until 1 o'clock. They're accustomed to starting their parties at 1 and 2 in the morning. When you go to a color fete or one of those events, the event would start at 8, 9, 10. They're literally not starting until midnight.
Senator James also expressed concern over the growing trend of patrons arriving late to events. According to him, late attendance can negatively impact the atmosphere during the early stages of an event and presents challenges for organizers who invest significant resources into hosting quality productions.
So the younger folks would go somewhere in line, you know, as they say, get ahead, get the head bad, and then they go to the event.
Right.
So you're not going to find somebody going to the park who the audience, which is now attracting to Soca Monarch, go to the park by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It's a different generation who they themselves are, and we get to understand them, and the anthropologists in time will then critique this generation that is now to our time and the time before us,
Gen Z versus
because it's
millennials versus baby boomers.
Yeah, it's a different type of breed of persons, and their mindset is completely different.
True.
So
I have a question for you, though.
Sure.
As a former minister, the way
James emphasized that strong attendance and punctual participation are important to the success and sustainability of the country's entertainment and cultural industries. That brings us to the end of our local news from the region. When we return, stay with us.
The Ever-Ready Funeral Home at French's is your friend in times of grief. With over 40 years' experience, they are prepared to take care of all your funeral arrangements: embalming, lowering device service, grave mattresses, carpeting, vaults, tombs and wreaths, arrangements for television obituaries. Cremation is available upon request. Ever-Ready Funeral Home offers the finest in caskets and coffins, local and imported. So, in your time of need, call Ever-Ready Funeral Home at any time. 456-1494. Ever-Ready Funeral Home, offering service above self.
Pharmacy, why choose us? We have all your prescriptions and over-the-counter medications, personal care products, lowest price guaranteed. Located conveniently next to the Bank of SVG on Grenville Street. Opening hours Monday to Thursday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Email us bowmanpharmacy@yahoo.com. Call us today at 456-2235 or 593-3918. Bowman's Pharmacy, easy to find and ready to serve you.
Welcome back. In our news from the region now, we hear that Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Timothy Antoine, says he hopes citizenship by investment programs across the currency union will be given the appropriate respect and support. His comments come amid growing pressure from the European Commission, which is asking the 5 Eastern Caribbean governments to wind up these programs in 2 years' time or face a suspension of visa-free access to the Shenzhen area. Governor Antoine was speaking during a news conference at the end of the 113th meeting of the ECCB Monetary Council in Dominica.
What we would like to see is a deepened and informed engagement with our international partners about these programs, having regard to the fact that we have had very strong dialogue with the US and the United Kingdom and the European Commission over the last 2-3 years in particular, as we went about further strengthening our programs, including the landmark passage of the law that establishes the Eastern Caribbean Citizenship by Investment Regulatory Authority.
St. Lucia's crime rate is once again under the spotlight following the United States decision to raise its travel advisory for the island to level 2. The opposition United Workers' Party says the warning could have serious consequences for tourism and the wider economy and is urging the government to take stronger action to restore confidence and improve public safety. We hear more in this.
The United States Department of State on July 10th upgraded St. Lucia's travel advisory to Level 2, urging American citizens to exercise increased caution due to crime. The advisory also referenced recent incidents involving U.S. nationals on the island. At a press briefing on Tuesday, the United Workers' Party argued that the development highlights the need for urgent measures to tackle crime before it further impacts the country's tourism industry and international reputation.
The U.S. citizens and other foreigners in St. Lucia have been victims of armed robbery, assault, burglary, and rape. Yes, this is what is on the State Department website. And it didn't just stay on the State Department website. Very reputable news agencies like Fox News.
Mr. Fede warned that if violent incidents continue, St. Lucia risks further damage to its reputation in key tourism markets at a time when the summer travel season is underway. He says discussions should be held with the U.S. State Department in an effort to have the advisory reviewed, noting the recent St. Lucia Tourism Authority statistics already indicating a significant decline in visitor arrivals from the United States, the island's largest source market. He is also calling for targeted measures that will improve safety for both residents and visitors.
We reach out again and we ask the government to take the lead and to call us together to a meeting so that we can put our heads together to solve the perennial crime situation affecting the country.
The updated U.S. travel advisory has reignited debate over the government's efforts to strengthen the Royal St. Lucia Police Force as crime and violence continue to pose a threat to public safety, investor confidence, and the country's tourism-dependent economy.
That's all news from the region. The international news is coming up next. Stay with us.
Quality products, quality care, low prices, great customer service, all at Q-Care Pharmacy. Q-Care leads the way, providing all your pharmaceutical needs, a variety of personal care products, and so much more. Located on Halifax Street. Telephone number 451-2690. Q-Care Pharmacy, where the Q stands for quality.
More jackpot money, more reasons to play this game. More money for way. Super 6 a bigger jackpot game.
$240,000. That's the Super 6 jackpot. For Friday, July 17th, it's $240,000.
More jackpot money, more reasons to play this game. More money for way. Super 6 a bigger jackpot game.
Since 2012, we have provided reliable, professional dialysis services in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are now proud to offer you new solutions for your health problems. Each new solution is being delivered to you with the same high degree of care and professionalism. We also use the best technology in the delivery of our services. So, does your doctor need a precise view of what's happening inside your body? Let us perform an ultrasound for you. Ladies, if it's your breasts, then choose our mammography service. For all issues related to men and women's health at any stage in your life, our team can perform the necessary investigations to put your mind at ease and recommend solutions for your problems. If it's to see within your chest or check for broken bones and fractures, then use our state-of-the-art U-Arm X-ray service. For you aging men and women, we can now check your bone density, which will reduce any complications that may arise with overall bone health, osteoporosis, or arthritis. Health Solutions will provide answers and results in a timely, accurate manner in the most comfortable environment, while you are taken care of by well-trained and experienced staff. Please call us today at 451-2836 or 434-3170, or visit us online at healthsolutionssvg.com. You can also follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Health Solutions, where we are providing solutions in SVG with care.
Singer is a family store. We sell everything you need for your kitchen and more. Top brands and appliances. TVs, fridges, cookers. We make your life so easy. Just come in and see us. A wide range of furniture. Right here at Singer. Affordable beds and mattresses. Right here at Singer. Washing machines to make your laundry clean and fresh. Singer is a family store
that gives you the best.
The best hire purchase deals. Right here at Singer. We'll outfit your home. Right here at Singer. The #1 family store. It's us with Singer.
Welcome back. On the international scene now, we hear that Bangladesh is battling one of its worst monsoon disasters in years, with floods and landslides stranding more than 1 million people and at least 54 deaths. Days of heavy rain have submerged homes, destroyed crops and fish farms, and cut off communities, forcing thousands into schools and shelters. We hear more in this report.
Homes lie partially submerged beneath muddy floodwaters. Crops have been destroyed, fish farms washed away, and entire communities cut off. Thousands of families are now sheltering in schools and cyclone centers, while others have sought refuge with relatives. 70-year-old Laila Begum is among them, forced to leave her flooded home and stay with family members.
The flooding has destroyed everything. Our fisheries, our crops, and our home. We can't even live in our house anymore because of the flood water. This is one of the worst floods I've ever seen in my life.
Schoolgirl Tasfia Sultana shows us what remains of her flooded, damaged home.
When the floodwater came, we had to leave our home because it was completely inundated. Somehow, we managed to save our cattle.
As the rain eases in Chattogram, the scale of the destruction is emerging, with families returning to damaged homes, submerged fields, and battered businesses. But meteorological forecasters warn that more heavy rain could trigger further localized flooding before conditions gradually improve. For people living here, this isn't just another flood. It's a loss of home, crops, and income, all in a matter of days. And the hardest part is the recovery process, which is only just beginning. Thousands remain stranded as the rescue team reached affected communities by boat. The Bangladesh Agriculture Department says more than 500,000 farmers have lost their crops. Meanwhile, volunteers, government agencies, and the armed forces are delivering food, clean water, and medical aid.
What we have seen is devastating, especially for women and children. One more issue is about the mobility. People are not really moving to the shelter houses, so we have to really provide the aid from door to door.
The floodwaters are beginning to recede in most part of the country, but for families who have lost everything, the task of rebuilding their lives has only just begun. Tanvi Chaudhary, Al Jazeera, Bashkali, Chattogram.
That's the news. Sports is just ahead, but before that, let's take a look at the local weather forecast.
The weather report sponsored by General Hardware.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentians for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices, then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Welcome back. Now for a second look at the headlines. Government waives secondary school registration fees for new students. ECCB Governor urges a deep and constructive dialogue amid CIP concerns. More than 1 million people stranded, 54 deaths in Bangladesh floods. And in sports, Taylor's second straight ton seals a 3-0 series sweep for West Indies over Ireland. Now for a recap of the weather forecast.
The forecast, it is fair to partly cloudy with slight haze and a chance of isolated showers.
On behalf of all of us here at SVG-TV, thanks for viewing. I am Rochelle Baptiste, inviting you to visit our Facebook page for a recap of the news and daily headlines. Also check out SVG-TV News in 15 weekdays at 12:45 p.m. Again, thanks for viewing. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
The weather report was sponsored by General Hardware.
Good evening and welcome to the Evening Sports. I'm Triska Campbell.
We heard that Stephanie Taylor's second successive ODI 100, backed by a disciplined bowling performance led by Avi Fletcher, held the West Indies women to a 64-run win over Ireland in Bredy and a 3-0 series sweep. Chasing 258, Ireland were bowled out for 193, with Fletcher picking up 3 wickets. Captain Gabby Lewis's half-century and briefly raised hopes for the Ireland fight back, but they were eventually bowled out with almost 7 overs to spare. Earlier, Taylor struck her 9th ODI 100 to rescue the West Indies from a 48-for-4. They had lost Hayley Matthews, Relina Graymon, Shermaine Campbell, and Janelia Glasgow inside the first 13 overs, but Taylor's 105 revived them. She rebuilt the first with Deandra Dotting and then Jazara Clarkston before accelerating to the death after adding 34 with Dotton. She shared a 73-run stand off 78 balls with Clarkston and then put on 50 runs off 49 for the 7th wicket with Aliyah Alain. Beginning the 49th over on 90, Taylor struck Georgina Dempsey for consecutive 4s before running to a 4 to reach her century. She was eventually run out of the final ball. Apart from her 100, Alain's brisk 33 and 27 runs in the Windies helped the West Indies push past 250. Ireland's chase never gathered momentum despite a promising stand between Lewis and Amy Hunter. Lewis made a brisk 50 off 59 balls and Hunter contributed 30 as the pair added a 71 off 81 balls for the 2nd wicket, but Fletcher moved both in the 18th over to derail the chase. Leopold tried to rebuild, but the West Indies bowlers controlled the game throughout when Paul fell for 32 in the 36th over to Fletcher. Ireland were 158 for 6 and were all out of the contest. Eventually, they were bowled out in the 44th over, losing their last 4 wickets for 35 runs. Team Athletics SVG has announced that 5 athletes will journey to Glasgow, Scotland for the 2026 Commonwealth Games. They are Shafiqa Maloney, who will compete in the women's 800 meters, Handel Roban in the men's 800 meters, along with Makish Compton, who will compete in the men's 100 meter, Uri Ryan in the men's long jump, and Amal Glasgow in the men's 400 meter. The games run from July 27 to August 1st. Immediately following the Commonwealth Games, Maloney and Glasgow will travel to Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic to compete in their respective events at the CAC Games from August 2nd to the 8th. Spain are into the FIFA World Cup final. Luis de la Fuente's side stunned the tournament favorites France in Dallas with goals from Miquel and Pedro, sealing a controlled and convincing win. There's more in this report.
Spain drew first blood when Mikel Oyarzabal broke the deadlock from the penalty spot midway through the first half after Lucas Digne caught Lamine Yamal with a careless challenge. Oyarzabal made no mistake, tucking the ball away just out of the keeper's reach. France came out for the second half needing a response, but instead, Spain grew stronger. Pedro Porro doubled the lead, finishing a slick 1-2 with Dani Olmo at the near post. From there, Spain, whose formidable defense has conceded just once all tournament, barely looked troubled. For France, it's the end of the road and the end of an era. Coach Didier Deschamps will leave after 14 years in charge once the third-place playoff is done. Spain now head to New Jersey, waiting to find out if England or Argentina stand between them and a second World Cup.
The Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines All-Stars won by default over OAS Strikers in the only match that was possible last weekend in the National Lotteries Authority Top-Layer Progressive Organization 2020 Softball Cricket Championship at the Daphne playing field. OAS Strikers failed to show up for the match. The other scheduled weekend matches were rained out. Organizers are hoping for a better weather this weekend with another 5 matches scheduled to be played at the Daphne playing field. From 1 p.m. on Saturday, Saniel Talawas of Sandy Bay will face off with Greg's Young Stars. And later at 3 p.m., Country Meets Town Out of Trouble will oppose AIA Reload. On Sunday at 10 a.m., RS Production Combat Warriors will clash with Fairbairn United Old Prink in the first of a triple header. Then at 12:30, Daphne United will come up against Fairbairn United, to be followed by a showdown between Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, All Stars and Dr. Thomas Injectors at 3 p.m. That's how we end sports this evening. I'm Triska Campbell. We'll be right back to wrap things up.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentians for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices. Then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Welcome back. Now for a second look at the headlines. Government waives secondary school registration fees for new students. Mississippi Governor urges a deep and constructive dialogue amid CDIP concerns. More than 1 million people stranded, 54 deaths in Bangladesh floods. And in sports, Taylor's second straight ton seals a 3-0 series sweep for West Indies over Ireland. Now for a recap of the weather forecast.
The forecast, it is fair to partly cloudy with slight haze and a chance of isolated showers.
On behalf of all of us here at SVG-TV, thanks for viewing. I am Rochelle Batiste, inviting you to visit our Facebook page for a recap of the news and daily headlines. Also, check out SVG-TV News in 15 weekdays at 12:45 p.m. Again, thanks for viewing. Enjoy the rest of the evening.